Today's case review is going to be based on Fractal Design VECTOR RS, and honestly the design is just sportish, like super sports car design with edges, lines, special legs, specially designed legs. Basically, I have nothing to say more than that. When we talk about the design, you have a nice RGB line going through the top of the case front and then back to the bottom of the case, which kind of does look really stylish, I would say. And the whole interior basically reminds me of R6 or Mesh 5S2, which is kind of quite alright because they did a quite nice job with all the cases that have similar concept inside. Now when it comes to VECTOR RS, you have one 140mm fan at the back and you have two more at the front. As for the top, it has a tempered glass on top, it has a tempered glass on front, tempered glass here on the side, and basically there are some things that you could do, that you could change to do whatever you wish with the case. Now when it comes to standard, as I said, Mesh 5S2, I think Mesh 5S2 doesn't have that, but the R6 definitely does, is the panel here on the side, which basically is used for hard drive mounting. You could remove the hard drive cages and push back the panel, so you have loads of clearance for an extreme water cooling loop, because you could place a 360 radiator on top, 360 on front. If you want, you could place 120, 140 at the back, but with two 360, I don't think there is a need for such so much radiators. Basically, when you push the panel back to the side, you have loads of clearance for a huge graphic card and for pump reservoir combo or separate or whatever. You might have seen my R6 mod with Resident Evil where I actually placed two reservoirs, so there's that. Now first things first, we need to do something. And then but also so there's that. There's actually one more inside here. We're going to get to that part as well, but first let's open the case and talk the interior. Now, talking about the interior, as I said, you have loads of space. You could even mount two SSDs with special SSD brackets, of course. You have four mountings here for your hard drives. They're inside here behind this panel, but I'm used to basically placing this panel right at the back for more space here and more clearance. And you can place your graphic card normally here any length, because basically the hard drive cages are up here, and when you take into consideration that the top PCI bracket is here, you just go beneath the last hard drive cage, so that is really cool. You can also vertically place your graphic card, which gives you a possibility to make better looks, better design. We'll check the temperatures for sure. Now, when it comes to cable arrangements and stuff like that, you have loads of holes here for 8-pin or two 8-pin EPS for your processor. You have here more, most likely for, I don't know, RGB and stuff like that. You have a possibility here for loads of cables on the side from the motherboard, for instance, like 24-pin, 3.0 USB, and at the bottom you have one hole right here for audio jacks, and you have more here for, I don't know, front panel and similar stuff like that. When we're talking about the front panel, you have a power on button, you have the reset switch, you have the USB 3.0 two times, you have USB Type-C and indication lights. Now let's go to the back side of the case and check out how the interior from the other side actually looks like. Now I did mention we have 4 hard drive brackets, but right here at the bottom you have 2 more. You have 2.5 inch SSD brackets here, and you have a special controller here with 3 4-pin PWM connectors, and you have 6 more with 3-pin which can be here, as you can see, controlled through the motherboard. You just need to connect one SATA cable and one 4-pin PWM. It would be really good if all of them were 4-pin, but okay, nevertheless. Now we're going to build a PC inside. We're going to place Fractal Design AIO. We're going to actually place the S36 and S24 just to make a comparison with the temperatures. We're going to use the same processor, and yeah, that's basically it. Let's go and dive into building. After a week of testing the VECTOR RS airflow and everything we did with the case with 2 AIOs, graphic card, in-game full loads and all that other stuff, I came to a conclusion that the case actually has a decent airflow. And even for some of you that you might be surprised checking other reviews where they say that airflow is really bad, it actually has almost the same intake openings right here on the front, and the fans are a distance from it, so it kind of gets nice airflow. When we're talking about fan configuration, I placed 3 PRISMA fans 140mm. When we're talking about them, here they are. So you have them in a box already packed, so you have a 3-pack with a controller and you can connect them separately. I switched the original fans that you get with the case and placed 2 140mm on front as an intake and one at the back as an outtake. You have currently, there's Celsius S24 inside, and well, actually, since we're mentioning all the Fractal products I have inside this build, we have their Ion Plus 660 Platinum, but these products aren't the main thing here. We're talking about something completely different, and we're talking about the airflow. So 142 times on front, pushing the air in, to 120 pushing the air out through the radiator, and one 140mm fan at the back, as you can see it right here. The temperatures on the CPU in full load on S36 were going from 68 to 73, something around that. So we have to take into consideration that this is Intel Core i7-7820X, as you saw in the S36 review, and in gaming it wasn't that bad. But when we go to the graphic card had like 63 degrees, and I think that's quite alright for air cooling. I mean, I've used water cooling on graphic card, and it went from 45 to 55, so 63 is quite alright using only air. When we used the S24 full load, was going 65 with PWM control on the AIO, and 73 as automatic mode with dual fan control mode. Now also the graphic card constantly, so I was playing about more than a week with the VECTOR RS and different configuration when it comes to S24 and S36. They basically almost had the same temperature, except S36 had a bit lower than S24. Talking about airflow, as I said, I mean, these are the original fans that you get with the case. These are Fractal Design Dynamic X2 GP14, so 140mm fan. Those are 1000 RPMs fans, and basically, even though they're not the same because they have some different cuttings here on the propellers, but I think they will cool quite nicely. The only difference between the PRISMA, except for the RGB, the PRISMA fans and these ones that you get stock, and these are 3-pin connectors for the fan speeds, and the PRISMA fans come with 4-pin PWM. So there might be a difference. Well, there definitely is a difference. let's make it simple. The cooling is quite alright. It has a nice airflow because it has openings on both sides. You can change the top from tempered glass to a nice ventilated part which has even a dust filter, so there's that. If you want a tempered glass, I wouldn't suggest going and placing anything on top. I would just make an airflow going from the front to the back, and that's basically all there is to it. Temperatures are quite alright, I would say, for air cooling and even for liquid cooling. If you place a Noctua or something like that, like a CPU tower air cooler. So yeah, I mean, that's all there is to it. Guys, I'm placing the links for Vector RS for you to check it out, the price and everything. It's a premium case, so it kind of makes sense with everything I said, and definitely you can check the prices in those links. Thank you for watching another of my reviews, and hope to see you soon in the next one. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and that's it. Bye bye.